Here we go, Marilyn. You're live now.
Hello everybody, we are here with Grandma Tanner cooking today, and today she is making pumpkin cheesecake.
Yes. Well, I would like to show you how. This is like 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, and it's got a little sugar and some cinnamon in it. So you mix that all up real good. And then I have this melted butter. Pour that all in there and blend that very well. And we'll press it into this 9 by 12 plate casserole. Got to blend this very well so all those little graham cracker crumbs are coated. Now, when you use a glass plate baking, you're supposed to lower the temp to 25 degrees and bake it just a little bit longer. So I did put it up to 350, so I'm going to lower this down to 325. And we'll press this into this dish right here. Spread it around a little bit. I did wash my hands. So just press it in here. And with this butter in it and the sugar and the cinnamon, it makes it a very good flavor. And then you stick it in the oven for 8 minutes. Now this recipe is in our little, our cookbook that we just put out.
There's our cookbook, which is on sale for $9.99. You get $5 off of that.
There's several really good pumpkin dessert recipes in there. So we'll put this in here for 8 minutes. And while that is in there for 8 minutes, we can whip up what else goes into this dessert. I have 16 ounces of softened cream cheese. So we will mix that real well with my little mixer here. And then you add the, I've already measured this out. It's 3/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. When you use nutmeg, it is a strong seasoning. So you don't want to, if it says 1/4 of a teaspoon, that's all you want to use. And then a pinch of salt. Salt always makes things taste a little better. So we'll blend that real good. Now next, I want to add 2 cups of cooked pumpkin. Now Libby helped me out on this. So you can, this little pumpkin that I have sitting here at the edge of the table, those are little pie pumpkins. And you can cut them in half, stick them in the oven and bake them, and then scoop the pumpkin out. It makes a very good pumpkin pie, that pumpkin. So now we'll blend this all together. Gets a little bit lighter. Now the recipe calls for 2 eggs, and I'll tell you, they won't be any fresher than these 2 eggs. Because when I came back from the house, I thought, well, I'll check to see if we have any eggs in that little chicken house. Eggs. So you add 1 egg at a time, and then you whip this up. Okay, the eggs in there make this a little more fluffy. Kind of gives it a little bit of fluff to it. And we'll see if our crust is done. 3 more minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this just a little bit longer. Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about was this pumpkin butter that we're selling. It's called, it comes from a company named Slacks. And on the top is a lid to make, or is a recipe on the lid to make a harvest moon pie. And it's a no-cook pie that you take half of, I think it's a half of this, or 1 cup, and you mix it with cream cheese and whipped topping, and you put it in a graham cracker crust. It's a nice, easy pumpkin pie.
And that would really be good just to make it more like a mousse and not use the pumpkin pie. You could put it in little mousse cups, kind of have it as a little treat.
And you can always put a little bit of Cool Whip or this Ready Whip. This is always good. Put a little sprig of that on. And then like a little candy or a little jelly pumpkin on each. It'd be so cute on your table for Thanksgiving. These pumpkins right here, these Sweetie Pie pumpkins are on sale. If you buy 2, you get 2 free. And also all of our gourds and mini pumpkins. But these little mini pumpkins, you can use them as a name tag. You can put their name on here at each person's plate. Another thing you can do is cut this lid out, take the seeds, and you put seasoning and some seasoning in there and bake it. You can put little tiny pieces of apple and cinnamon and a little sugar and just bake this and then put the lid back on, and it's a cute little dessert. So, okay, I think our crust is almost finished. So this, I've got one made. I made it earlier today and put it in this plate. You can also do this cheesecake in a spring form, like an 8 or 9 inch spring form pan. You can cut this, and I would put the Ready Whip or Cool Whip on there, and likewise put a little pumpkin on top, or just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. It would dress it up a little bit. Or a little tiny bit, drizzle a little bit of our caramel sauce.
That's what I was thinking, was the caramel to really make it good.
Yeah, that would really make it good. Okay, we'll get this crust out of here.
Well, Grandma, while you're checking this, I'm going to just remind them again that the cookbook is on sale. And actually, this recipe is in the cookbook, Pumpkin Cheesecake, on page 42, if anybody has that cookbook. And here is the recipe right here, if anybody wants to see it all typed out all together. But it's also in that cookbook. So,
yeah. And you pour this batter in here, and then you bake it for 50 more minutes.
so do you need to let your crust cool, or you just pour it in?
It doesn't say to cool, so you can just pour this in here. I think it would be good, because you put it right back in the oven. It's really nice and fluffy, this recipe is. It'd be real pretty in a spring pan, but I did not happen to have a spring pan. You just spread it around in there, and then about 50 minutes it'll bake and set up.
Well, I think everybody likes Thursdays because they get Grandma's cooking for a treat later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they'll be able to come in here and eat some goodies here. We did have one of our employees brought some food in today. Quite a few of the employees brought in food. And we had kind of a little get-together at noon. So I'm going to leave that set at 325. The rest of this says 350. So if you're doing it in a metal pan, you can do it at 350. But if you're using glassware, lower it 25 degrees, and then you can just do it a few more minutes. So that's about all for today. So we have all these nice little pumpkin things here.
Yep, come and get them. They're buy two, get two free. So while we have them. All right, thanks, Grandma. We'll see you next week.
Okay.